welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a gastric update. I know, shocker. It's been a while since I did a gastric update, other than obviously telling you that I had to have Nelly number 3 placed because Nelly number 2 decided to vacate the premises really early. And that was an unpleasant experience. I hope I don't have to go through again. But then obviously gastroparesis is very unpredictable, so we'll just have to see. I have been feeling pretty crappy the last few days. Not sure if my tube has flipped or whether it's okay and I'm just kind of getting trickle back. Reason being, I've been having issues obviously with my bowel situation, and my irrigation system is leaking, so I'm not sure whether that's given me the proper amount of pressure to basically relieve what needs to be taken from me. So I'm currently waiting a new system to be delivered by my lovely nurse, because she's just amazing. I just love her so much. She's such a bubbly, friendly person. So if you're watching my channel, Jackie, hi. So anyway, I have an update with regards to what is going on with my gastroparesis and where we're going to head from here. So if you've watched previous videos, you will know that I've been in talks with doctors now for probably the best part of a year with regards to what we're going to do longer term and things like that. And obviously, given my really rubbish anatomy, it was advised that PEG-J was probably not going to be something that was going to be suitable. And my previous gastric doctor just didn't even want to try it. My new gastric doctor was like, I'm not really sure why your gastric doctor was like this or said that or did this, but I honestly have no problems with PEG-Js. So we got referred to the surgeon, obviously. The surgeon and I had a discussion with regards to what to do, and we basically came to 3 conclusions. One was completely dismissed because it has a high failure rate, and because obviously you can't get it on the National Health Service here in England as well. You have to hit a certain criteria, which we all knew that I was not going to hit the criteria because I have tried to get funding from them before for other reasons and in order to help with my health, and they've denied me anyway. So I just said there's no point dragging things on and no point basically, you know, trying to break something that probably wouldn't even work anyway. So, and that was for gastric pacing. Gastric pacing doesn't have a very high success rate, which is why it's not offered on the National Health Service. And it is only offered to people in the National Health Service via a medical commissionary board who are happy to fund it, providing you hit a specific criteria, which, going the fact off, a lot of these places go off body mass index, and we all know how rubbish that is. There's no way that they're gonna basically pass me on that, and that's just gonna waste a lot of my time and my effort trying to fight to get it, when obviously there's a chance as well that it's not even going to work. And because I heal really badly when it comes to surgeries and things, I opted not to have it. Plus I'm allergic to some metals, so I could probably have an adverse reaction. So I did dismiss that, and my surgeon was like, you know what, I actually don't blame you. But if anyone's got gastric pacing and it's working for you, I commend you, like, well done, I'm glad it's working. It's not something that is suitable for me. I then spoke to him about jejunostomy, because that's what was originally the plan, was to take my NJ and give me a jejunostomy, which is basically a tube that goes into your abdomen and straight into your small intestine. Because of my anatomy and because of the fact that a PEG-J was deemed not suitable, and even he was like, I'm not really sure why like a PEG-J wouldn't be suitable, like I really don't. So we spoke about it, and we did explain to me, like, and even I knew this already, that if I did not go for a PEG J and went straight for a jejunostomy tube and something happened and that jejunostomy failed for any reason, then they would have nowhere else to go other than to give me a central line where I'm fed intravenously via my bloodstream. And obviously that comes with a whole heap of different complications, including high rate for sepsis, and that is not something that any doctor would consider lightly, and it's not any patient's dream to basically be put on IV nutrition. So the idea was it would be probably better for me to go for a PEG J surgery first. That way, you know, if things become too much, I can obviously vent my gastric port, and I can also drain anything from my gastric port. So for example, if I decide to have a cup of tea, or like a mouthful of tea, and I start feeling really sick, I can obviously drain that cup of tea, which means I still get the chance to taste things, but not particularly keep them in my system because it would make me sick. Obviously there's only certain things that you're able to drain, so you'd have to be careful what you'd eat. But I have a situation where I don't get rid of buildup of air. So when I bloat badly, and I can't get rid of that bloat by natural means. So it's always good to vent air in that situation. So that's one of the things that I really wanted to have a PEG J for instead of a jejunostomy, but it was talked down by my previous gastric doctor. Like I said, my new gastric doctor said I'm not really sure why a PEG J would not be suitable, and my surgeon said the same. So obviously if you have PEG J and PEG J fails, then you can then go straight to jejunostomy, because there's that step in between of having a jejunostomy prior to having central line fitted and then having to have nutrition pumped through your veins. So where, like I said, going straight for a jejunostomy, it leaves no pathway. You can't go backwards, you can't go forwards, so other than going straight for that. So it's a case of, we had a big discussion and it was decided that I would try to have the PEG J placed. I have a few things that I have coming up where I need to be healed in order to do it, to do the things that I like, or things that I'd want to do. Part of that is to celebrate my 40th birthday this year, and I can't celebrate with friends and things like that if I'm still recovering from surgery. So they told me that I'd need to recover at home for at least 6 weeks because of the fact that your abdomen is being cut into and so is your stomach, and the gap between the two until they've healed, you're at risk of peritonitis. And I think we were planning on going swimming for my 30th birthday. Where am I? I'm dreaming here. 30th birthday. And we were planning on going swimming and things on around my 40th. So I can't do that if obviously I have just had surgery. And I want to be able to enjoy my birthday, and I want to be able to enjoy Christmas. So he advised me that when I saw my gastric doctor last week, he basically was happy that I had decided to go for the PEG J instead of straight for the jejunostomy. He did explain because of my anatomy, they may find it more difficult to place, but they will still try it. And obviously if it's a no-go, then they would probably think about booking in at a later date for a jejunostomy, but they still want to try placing, which is fine. And I'm happy for them to try. But he said it would have to be fitted between now and the middle of November, so that way it gives me plenty of time to heal, to enjoy Christmas and my birthday without being in too much discomfort, and I'd be able to do the things that I've set to do in the new year with for my birthday. So and obviously I can then start building up my strength again because of the fact that I need to do physio for other reasons. So yeah, like hopefully that will happen, but he was in the assumption that if you have PEG J surgery, you can go in, have the procedure done, stay for a few hours, and then they will allow you home the same day. However, my dietitian a few days later, who had spoken to my gastric doctor, had to explain to him that that is not the case. Just because I'm established on feed doesn't mean that I am going to be able to just go home after I've had this procedure. Because everything's been messed with, it puts me at high risk for peritonitis. So ideally, they want a patient who's had that type of procedure done to be in hospital overnight at least, before they start to flush that tube with saline. And then once that tube has been flushed with saline, they will then gradually start asking you to build up on feeds. So you're looking at around maybe 2 days off nutrition, just till you start building up and they know that your tube is working and everything's fine, because they could flush that tube and the jejunostomy port could be back in my stomach, and that's going to make me quite poorly. So they try and do these things. They need to make x-rays, have x-rays and make sure the tube's in the right place before they send me home and so forth. So because it looks like now that I would have to have an admission into hospital, and because we're in the height of flu season, and obviously because the pandemic is still running rife around the country, it's looking likely that I probably won't end up with my PEG-J by the middle of November, and it's more likely that they'll now have to do it in the new year. I am a little bit gutted because I would have liked to have had my face back for my birthday, but if it's the way that it is, it's the way that it is, and you know, I will get my PEG-J at some point. There is obviously no rush, but it would have been nice to have had it done prior to my birthday and Christmas. But that is pretty much the update. Like I said, I am on Nelly number 3, but I don't know what to do with regards to preparation. So at the moment, for preparation for surgery, obviously I have a blood form that I need to have done prior to me going into hospital, because I need to check coagulation factors and stuff. But I'm also making sure that I have things for covering the ports on my PEG-J, so that when I go to sleep it's not going to be digging into me and causing pain, and obviously digging into my system, because these hurt when you lay on them, like they really hurt. And then I'm also trying to get things sorted so that I can make my own tubey pads, so that I don't have to spend money on buying them, and that way I can do my own designs and stuff. So that hopefully will be a good preparation. Obviously I will make sure that my hospital bag is sorted, and I have everything for that, but it's now just a matter of waiting for the call, waiting to see whether they will call me in. I need to have bloods done at least 7 to 10 days prior to my surgery, but I'm just waiting now for the call, and hopefully it'll be done prior to Christmas. But if it's not, then you know, it'll be done after the new year. So but that's my update. I know it's short-lived and it's not a very long video, but it literally is just an update. You know, that dietitian and my doctors are happy with everything that's going on so far. Like I said, they could have trouble placing it because of my anatomy the way it is, but they're still going to try, and then hopefully that will be okay. Like, I know how PEG-Js are fitted, and I know how difficult they can be to place, and with sedation and local anaesthetics not being an Ehlers-Danlos patient's best friend, certainly not mine, I know it's going to be very uncomfortable. So if you guys have PEG-Js and you have any, and you've not been put to sleep, you've just been put under endoscopy with sedation and whatnot, let me know, like, if there's anything I can do to prepare. No, let me know any information that you can, really. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little update, and if you have, then make sure you subscribe and press the like button, and if you want to be alerted when I'm posting, don't forget to press the bell, and you will be updated as and when I post. So enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and if I don't speak to you before, have a lovely weekend, and yeah, thanks again for watching. Take care, guys. Bye.